Welcome back. The atmosphere is really building up at the County Ground. As you can see, the teams are now on the park. Prediction time for me, Mark.
I just hope that Swindon don't get beat today, Bob. I think it's important that they build on the success of the other night. The confidence should be very, very high. Middlesbrough are the best team in the league, but in saying that, they're very, very beatable side. And as I said before, if Swindon can keep John Henry quiet, I fancy that Swindon will take at least a point, if not 3 points today.
How much do you think this cup win will have boosted the Swindon
side?
It
will have boosted. I mean, the manager will have said to them, look, forget about the cup win, but it's impossible because they're all euphoric about it. They're in the semi-finals of the Coca-Cola, but they played very, very well the other night, and that is the key to it.
And for Swindon, the key players?
Fjortoft, as much as anybody. I mean, if he keeps scoring, Swindon can win. Simple as that.
And Middlesbrough, who's going to be the big threat as far as you're concerned?
Well, we said Henry, and Wilkinson, his partner, is a good player as well. But he's played the sweeper system very well in pushing the full-backs forward. They do like to play football, so it will not be a kicking match. So at least Swindon will be allowed to play football as well. And I expect it to be a good game, good entertaining game. And
they need the points desperately, don't they now?
Desperate for the points because all of a sudden there's a gap starting to open. So 3 points there would be very welcome.
Right, Mark, we shall see. They're ready for us now at the County Ground. Let's go over straight away to join our commentary team, Ron Atkinson, Alan Parry.
And welcome to the County Ground, where Swindon staged their second big match of the week following Wednesday's Coca-Cola Cup victory here over Millwall, which earned them a place in the semi-finals. Jan Fjortoft was in superb form in that game, and in these days of £7 million strikers, Swindon's Norwegian international could be the next man to move on for a big fee. He scored 22 goals already this season and has plenty of admirers. But Swindon can't really afford to lose him, or indeed to dwell on thoughts of reaching Wembley. Their league position is far too precarious for that. They haven't won a First Division match for over 3 months now, a total of 14 games. Steve McMahon doesn't have too many options either in his playing squad, so it's no surprise that he's named the same team which beat Millwall here on Wednesday. Middlesbrough's former Sheffield Wednesday defender Nigel Pearson has the job of containing Fjortoft today. He's recovered from injury to take his place in a 3 centre-back system, which Borough have used successfully in recent weeks. Middlesbrough's record this season shows all the signs of a team heading for promotion. They have excellent away form with only 3 defeats in 13 games and the best defensive record in the First Division. But a major blow for Borough today is the absence of striker Paul Wilkinson through injury. It means they've had to change their system with only one recognised striker in John Henry. Today's referee is Graham Pooley from Bishop Stortford. And a look at the substitutes. Eddie Murray, Wayne O'Sullivan and Fraser Digby for Swindon. And on the Borough bench, Clayton Blackmore, Kavanagh and Ben Roberts. Well, Middlesbrough start the match as leaders of the First Division, and whatever happens, that's where they'll remain. They have 48 points, 1 more than Wolves, who of course won yesterday. Swindon all in red, attacking from left to right. Taylor with the first interception on Hendry, who's leading scorer for Middlesbrough this season with 14 goals. And Pearson with the first clearance at the other end. And an opportunity to say hello and welcome, not to Nigel Pearson, but to the man alongside me, Ron Atkinson, looking indecently healthy after 2 weeks in Barbados. Bit colder here, Ron.
Yes, but I'm sure it's going to get hot, a lot hotter as the game warms up. You mentioned about Wilkinson not playing. That's going to be a major blow, I think, for Robbo's team, because looking at the side, they're comparatively small up front, with young Henry, well, little Henry playing up the middle. And I don't think they'll have a lot of joy just throwing long balls forward.
Middlesbrough going forward now with Curtis Fleming, the young Irishman at left back, to another Irishman, Alan Moore, under 21 international, in fact. Here's Fleming again, trying to find more inside the penalty area, and the deflection took the ball perfectly into the route for John Henry to try the diving header.
See straight away, though, Henry, a guy that's scoring goals this season. Little ricochet, a nice little ball played in there. Looks as if Moore might have been getting it. He gets the rebound, and then you see that's a good reaction from Henry. He's a touch unfortunate not to put Middlesbrough in the lead already.
Moore trying to force it through to Henry again. Henry stopped in his tracks and claimed a free kick. None was given. And a poor clearance by Nicky Hammond has given the ball straight back to Jamie Pollock, who in turn presents it back to Swindon. Luke Nijholt, the Dutchman, in the centre of midfield. Out on the left-hand side, Joey Beecham. Sloppy ball by him. given away to Morris, another of the Irish internationals in this Middlesbrough team. Here's Hendry, the Scotsman. They backed off dangerously and invited the shot. Nicky Hammond was equal to it. Just won back his place in the side, Nicky Hammond from Fraser Digby. It's his 4th game in a row, this.
Only one thing in mind there again from Hendry. 2 great strikes in the first couple of minutes.
Here's Fleming, who will push forward on this left-hand side with 3 centre-backs. Middlesbrough have the luxury, if you can call it that, of pushing both their full-backs into attacking positions. Here's Nyholt. The ball over the head of Bodin. Beecham collecting it. And the former Oxford United man easily dispossessed. Hendry, who leads the line so splendidly for Middlesbrough. Vickers, the former Tranmere Rovers player, gets it back again inside the opposition half, and the clearance by Sean Taylor was a good one. Bodin, the Welsh international, at left back for Swindon, finding Andy Much, former Wolves striker, and that looked like handball, so a free kick. Andy Much, who scored 2 goals here against Millwall on Wednesday night, scored over 100 goals in his Wolves career. And here's Fjortoft, who's in really hot form at the moment. But Middlesbrough dealt with the threat well then. Taylor winning it back for Swindon, but got the through ball wrong. Fjortoft, 22 goals and 7 in his last 9 games. £500,000 is all he cost when Swindon's previous manager John Gorman signed him from Rapid Vienna, the Austrian club. And that could be one of the bargains of the last few years, Ron Atkinson.
Yeah, I must confess, when he first came, I mean, there were times when you saw him play, you'd have thought he was the coach driver, early doors. But then he had a run of goals. I think he started at Ipswich last season, opened up his account. And from then on, he seems to have scored for fun. They're going to have to watch this a little bit, Swindon, you know. You said about Fleming and Morris being given the licence to charge forward. They're leaving Fleming a lot of room on this side of the field with no orthodox... Let's see this one peter out. With no orthodox right-sided player. Ling's playing a bit narrow on this side. In fact, I thought Beecham would have occupied most of the right-hand side.
Certainly Beecham and Horlock, the other wide player in Swindon's midfield, do interchange positions frequently in a game. Taylor's header, flicked on by Bodin. Pearson dealt with it well. Henry's little chested layoff was well read by Taylor. Now Bodin going forward. He can hit the ball powerfully. They don't want to give him an opening. Fjortoft. Well, is Mick McCarthy watching, I wonder, because he scored from a very similar position against Millwall, and Mick said it was a complete fluke.
There was no doubt about that. He was going for goal there. In fact, he'd actually got much, and I think it was Ling on the far post. They were queuing up. They would have liked him to have chipped this to the back stick. But I mean, once again, we've talked about Henry. That's a lad that scores goals. Nothing else in mind. He's going to have a dip from there. You know, when they do go in, Alan, they're not lucky. If they're brave enough to try those benders from that side, then, I mean, nobody ever criticised Dalglish over the years, and he knocked enough of those in.
I know that Swindon have had a couple of offers already for Fjortoft, including, I understand, real interest from their opponents today, Middlesbrough, but they think that he's worth a great deal more than has currently been offered. And I'm sure they're right. Here's Mark Robinson, the former Newcastle fullback, dispossessed by Robbie Mustoe. Fleming playing it forward to Hendry now. Mustoe again, overhit that one. And Taylor didn't get much advice, obviously, from his goalkeeper. And Nicky Hammond made a bit of a mess of the attempted clearance. Fortunately for him, Alan Moore couldn't do anything with it.
Alan Moore was a little bit optimistic there, but that's twice in the opening minutes that we've seen Nicky Hammond have very, very faulty clearances. I mean, I don't think Taylor gave him too much help there. It was a little bit of an edgy back pass to him, but you like your keeper to do better than that.
Swindon in the bottom 4 at the start of play, remember. Middlesbrough the leaders. And Middlesbrough beaten just once in their last 10 games in League and Cup. Fleming with a great-looking ball. Henry was offside.
Close one, that, you know. I mean, Henry's timed his run. I thought he timed it to perfection. Brilliant little spin off the defence from the through ball.
Scored a hat-trick in Middlesbrough's last away win at Burnley, John Hendry. Culverhouse with the free kick, finding Fjortoft. Holds off defenders well and finds Ling. Robinson. Ling again with the back heeler. Nyholt opens it out to Bodin on the left. He has Beecham on the left flank. Helps it back to Sean Taylor. And he's looking for Much, who won the header. Vickers was the covering defender, though. And Middlesbrough calmly play their way out of danger, but then a sloppy ball gives it back to Swindon. Fjortoft. That's a lovely layoff. Pearson hooks it clear. Pollock. Hendry. Fleming is steaming down this left-hand side, but it was a good tackle by Nyholt before Hendry could even see him. Oh, lovely skill then by Horlock, the former West Ham player. And he knew that the man outside him would be Beecham, and Bodin in support of him as well. And here he is. Horlock again. Couldn't get the corner he was looking for. It's Middlesbrough's throw-in. Kevin Horlock, just 22, his third season here. Couldn't gain a regular place at West Ham, but he's done really well since moving to the county ground. Nyholt finding Bodin, and the captain swings a dangerous one in. Much couldn't quite get there. Alan Miller, who, like Nicky Hammond in the Swindon goal, began his professional career at Arsenal. Taylor's clearance. Much, the defender right behind him, but he held him off well. And Nyholt feeds Mark Robinson on this side, but it just picked up pace. Fleming. Hendry seems to be always available and uses the ball intelligently. Fleming again. And once more, Hendry got the layoff. Then it's knocked forward to Hignett. And a good ball, and there was a bit of pulling there by Robbie Mustoe on Bodin. Free kick goes Swindon's way.
There we saw the pattern of play from Middlesbrough. Without having the big outlet, the big centre forward, they're going to have to build up, as you say, with quality balls into Hendry. But then they're looking for through runners. Hignett, they're running off the right-hand side through the inside left gully. And I think they'll look from that on this side. They'll certainly look for more to get in from the other side. And a lot of support from their midfield players. I think what Robbo will do, basically, he'll say to the midfield players and the two wide strikers, get forward as much as you can and support the front.
Culverhouse finding Fjortoft, took it down in an instant. Tried to make room for the shot, was closed down by Pearson, though. And then crowded out of it in the end. Fleming. This is Moore. Just got a yard on Robinson here. Hendry. The layoff back to Mustoe. Morris keeps it going into Hignett. And back again almost to the fullback. Bodin just got a vital shin to the ball. Good clearance by Horlock, but it's pumped back into the Swindon half. It's their throw-in, though. Beecham forward. Fjortoft is standing in an offside position. Brian Robson, 38th birthday last Wednesday. Unfit to play at the moment. He's missed a lot of games through injury this season. And no one in football, I think, Ron, surprised that he's done so well so quickly as a manager.
No, and the team will bear the stamp of him. They'll all work very hard. I mean, you've seen little bits of it already. Nice pockets of football. They've tried to play little 1-2s around the box and pass the ball accurately. But you can bet your money, every member of his team will have to graft all afternoon. He won't take less than that from anybody.
Swindon's throw-in. They've managed just 6 wins from 25 league games this season, Swindon. 5 of them, in fact, have been here. Only 1 away win, and that was at the bottom club, Notts County. Here's Fjortoft. One back by Fleming for Middlesbrough. Hendry making a good run for him down the left-hand side. And he looks for the right flank instead. Nyholt turning it back into Middlesbrough's territory. No problem for Alan Miller.
Actually, we saw Craig Fleming there again, cutting in on it with his right foot and almost linking up with one of the strikers with a through ball. Just going to have a look at that point there from the goalkeeper. I think Miller would be advised with his kicking to try and keep the ball away from Big Taylor at the back. I mean, if you look at the rest of the Swindon back four, they're not particularly big players.
Almost a costly interception there.
Just wondering that there was nearly a nice little moment of good fortune for Middlesbrough. But the rest of the back four are not big players, and they should really endeavour to keep the high balls away from Sean Taylor.
Keep the high balls low, as they say.
That'd be the ideal situation.
Mustoe getting in tenaciously in midfield and finding Jamie Pollock. That's a good run, this, by Pollock, and he's brought down by Horlock, just about 5 yards outside the penalty area.
That's a booking, and it's totally unnecessary, and it's in a danger area because Proctor had actually... sorry, Proctor, that's the old player that used to play here. Pollock had actually overrun the ball there.
Booking then for Kevin Horlock, and it could be a more serious problem still for Swindon, because this is a good position for Middlesbrough. There's a really determined run by Jamie Pollock, the 20-year-old, and there's a combination of possibilities here for Middlesbrough over the ball. Looks like Craig Hignett might fancy a strike. Straight at the wall, though. Comes straight back to him. Oh, my word, he didn't make any mistake with the rebound. That's a terrific finish.
That also shows what's happened when you're at the top of the league. I mean, he's made an out-and-out mess of his first one. Fortunately, the ball's flown back to his left foot. I was actually surprised the ball's gone into the net. Here he is. He takes it. You know, he's tried to lift it. It's his own player, actually, who's gotten away. And he's just pulled the trigger on the second one, left-footed. Rutballs say they work that one out a lot in training. But, I mean, that just shows you, look, when you're top of the league. Just shows how things work out for you.
Quarter of an hour gone then. And Middlesbrough, the Ensley First Division leaders, take the lead with a fine goal by Craig Hignett. His 9th of the season.
And the foul was even more costlier than we originally anticipated.
Absolutely. Here's Fjortov trying to pull Swindon level. Morris had time to measure his pass out of defence and find Moore, who was brought down, was he? The referee has said play on. Fjortov turning it for Beecham. He made a good determined challenge, but is dismayed to see he hasn't even got a corner kick out of that. It's a goal kick.
That's the last thing Swindon wanted as well, of course, because the one thing you mentioned it in the stats before, here's the goal again. Little Ben, it comes off his own player and then he just slams at it. Goalkeeper, no chance. The one thing you can't really afford to do against Middlesbrough is concede an early goal, because, as you say, their defence is very, very strong. 3 very resolute central defenders, and Fortoft and Much will have it all on to take those to the cleaners this afternoon.
Yes, they've only conceded before today 22 goals in 25 league games. And they're flying again here with the goal scorer Hignett in possession. Hendry in the middle, he looked for him. It's almost flicked onto him as well by Mustoe. Hendry again turning it dangerously forward. And Culverhouse at full stretch to get it away. Morris keeps it in play. Moore. Taylor tackled him and that was enough to throw him off balance. Goal kick.
You know, funny enough, I'm sure Sean Taylor would have been happier having to play against Wilkinson, where he knows what to expect. Big Wilkinson, everything aerial, knows how to, would have to face the challenge up top. Whereas today, Middlesbrough forced to play little balls into Hendry and join in from there. I think will cause Taylor a lot more problems than a big centre forward would.
Taylor himself overhits that one, intended for Fjortoft. Cleared then by Vickers. Taylor underneath it again. Mustoe dispossessed by Ling, and Nyholt then loses out to Moore. Fleming carries it forward. Hendry. Good tackle, but they've kept possession. Fleming again. And the linesman had flagged offside there. Swindon's free kick. Craig Hignett, who scored the goal, started his career at Liverpool. He never made it into league football with them, but he did with Crewe Alexander, who have produced so many players who've gone on to cost big transfer fees and make it at the highest level. Pollock hitting it into the Swindon half, Taylor underneath it. Good ball forward then by Mustoe. Bodin, Horlock, Fjortoft. Beecham chipping it forward for Much. Good marking by Steve Vickers. There's Bodin again. Looks for Much, edge of the penalty area. It was taken away from him, and that'll be Swindon's throw.
They've talked about Henry's ability to accept the ball. I also think Fjortoft and Much are very good at accepting balls played into them.
This looks dangerous for Middlesbrough. Fjortoft on the near post, but Middlesbrough defended well. Well, Henry couldn't have done much else then. He was surrounded by Swindon defenders.
Yeah, I think Swindon must do that. They must stick a marker against him, so when the ball is played up from the Middlesbrough back, somebody can challenge him and keep him under pressure, because they've always got the insurance of Culverhouse playing deep at the back.
There's Taylor. Horlock doing well to win it back, but couldn't keep it for long enough to cause a problem to Middlesbrough, who'll find this outlet on the left again from Fleming, but poor control by him has given it to Ling. The sliding tackle by Mustoe. The referee saw nothing wrong with it.
No, there wasn't anything wrong with it. Excellent challenge.
White. Ignat just holding off the defender and finding Fleming, who tries to return it to him down the left, and it's a good ball. Henry, danger here again for Swindon, but he just couldn't keep the ball close enough to him.
Yeah, a bit surprised with John Hendry then. I thought he'd have taken it on a little bit further. Nyholt was closing from the back here. You watch as he lays it. Look at Nyholt here. I think if he'd have taken this on Hendry, he might have got himself a chance of being chopped in the box there. There's the one thing defenders don't like, is attackers are raiding them and racing into the box with the ball.
Well, that was a misheaded clearance that Middlesbrough were fortunate to survive. Robinson. Much to Ling. Well, I think they'll deal with them all day at the back, Middlesbrough, with those three big centre halves.
Yes, well, I think it's essential from Swindon's point of view. They've got to try and get some midfield players past the strikers a little bit. They're a bit predictable in midfield, playing nice and tidy, but no real breaks from midfield. And that's something that might just disturb the Middlesbrough back three.
Here's a guy who might disturb them, Fjortoft, and he's won a corner. They'll send big Sean Taylor forward to join Fjortoft in the 6-yard box. And anything knocked down to the edge of the penalty area, keep an eye open for Luke Nyholt, who scored a spectacular goal from that sort of position against Marlow in the FA Cup. Beecham playing it in. The cross wasn't good enough, though. He can try again. Over Nyholt's head. And very calm defending by the First Division leaders. Here's Moore, and this looks dangerous on the break as well. Wasn't a good enough ball, though, by Alan Moore. Straight to Horlock. It wasn't too clever by him either. Pearson just guards it out of play. Goal kick. Steve McMahon's 9th game in charge as player manager at Swindon Town. He's had a bit of misfortune as a player, certainly. Got sent off in his first game, then broke his arm. He sees a specialist on Monday, hopes to be playing again soon. And his only successes as a manager have both come in cup ties so far.
Yeah, been an interesting duel, wouldn't it, if both him and Robson had managed to get on for 10 minutes today. I mean, going back, as you said, in the early 80s, there used to be sparks flying when those two played in opposition.
And played together, of course, as well. And in the England squad, World Cups, European Championships, two of the great players of the English game in midfield over the last, as you say, 10 or 15 years. Culverhouse with the Swindon free kick. Much. was a difficult bouncing ball for him. And Ling forced Steve Vickers to concede the corner. So Swindon's second corner in quick succession to give them a little hope. But they're one down, remember. A splendid goal by Craig Hignett giving Middlesbrough an early lead. That's a good-looking one, and turned over the line by Fjortoft, who'll claim that. It was Robinson who set up the danger, but knowing Fjortoft, he'll say, look, I stacked that one over the line. We'll see here. Did he get a touch?
I think he did. He did. I certainly think it would have gone in anyway, but as you say, a goal scorer scoring, he's definitely got a little nick on that, the faintest of touches, and he's got a legitimate claim to it. I mean, my first impression was that's gone in by Robinson's head has gone straight in. But I think you've got to give that, I think that is Fjortoft's goal.
If it's counted that way, it's goal number 23 already of this season for him. As far as Swindon are concerned, they're not too concerned at all, because it just brings them level, and that's the important thing for them. Mark Robinson has never actually scored since joining Swindon from Newcastle in the summer, so he might have a decent shout on this one as well. We'll leave those two to argue that one out. See what the verdict is from the dressing room at half-time.
I think that one was a bit inconclusive from that angle. I thought the one from behind the goal virtually showed Fjortoft maybe just getting his stud on it by a whisker.
But it's given the game a lift for any neutrals watching now. Swindon drawing level with 23 minutes gone. Swindon Town 1, Middlesbrough 1. It was a very well executed corner routine. Here's Culverhouse. Horlock. Picked up by Pollock. Here's Moore. The layoff to Musto. Dispossessed by Nyholt. Much. Couldn't find Horlock's, giving it back to Moore. Sammy's got a bit of sprinting to do to get anywhere near that one. Well, you tried taking a goal off a goal scorer. Fjortoft will say, if I hadn't have touched it, it wouldn't have gone in. Well played, Andy Much. Whoops. Total miss-kick clearance by the Scottish international Derek White. And Middlesbrough, from looking reasonably comfortable with that one-goal lead, are suddenly on the back foot. Poor ball though by Taylor, straight to Morris. Hendry has Moore just ahead of him. That's good defending by Sean Taylor. Now Horlock, Beecham. A lot of movement now all of a sudden from Swindon. They look a different side. And Ling has dispossessed Fleming. Oh, that was unlucky. Beecham almost with a good reverse ball down the line for Ling. Just intercepted. Morris. That was a lovely turn again from Hignett, and tried to play it back to Morris. Culverhouse cleans up nicely for Swindon. Pollock. Morris driving forward, looking for Hendry. Taylor did enough, just got across in front of the man. Well, certainly from a neutral point of view, Ron, I think that's what the game needed.
Oh, very much so. I'm not sure Brian Robson would agree with that, but certainly from our point of view, yeah. Came as a little bit of a shock, a little bit of a, not a shock, but a surprise, because, as you say, they'd looked well in control at Middlesbrough. Strangely enough, it was the first corner. They've had about 3, and it was the first corner they'd really put into the box. They'd tried the short corner 2 or 3 the previous couple of occasions.
on the debate about who's going to claim the Swindon goal, incidentally. I gather that Robinson asked Fjortoft to be honest as they got back to restart the game. Did you touch it or didn't you? And Fjortoft said yes. Whether he's being honest is for you to judge. It's his goal.
Well, he's not going to say no, is he, with 22 goals in his locker already? What I'm intrigued about is how do we know that he said that to him during the course of the game?
Ah, the miracle of television. Nijholt. Ling. Good football now from Swindon. And no one's ever doubted, even in their disastrous season in the Premiership when they finished at the rock bottom, that they can play football. What Steve McMahon has done is instill a bit of steel and a bit of discipline, and by a very good defender in Ian Culverhouse, that's helped to shore up a defence that let in exactly 100 league goals in the Premiership last season. That have gone out of play. Swindon's throw. Middlesbrough have drawn their last 3 away games, as it happens, in the league and the cup. This is Ian Culverhouse. His fee will be decided by a tribunal. He played every game for Norwich in the Premiership last season. And if they get him for the kind of money that they've offered Swindon, they will have got a real bargain. They don't expect to pay any more than about £250,000 for him. The tribunal may have a different view, however. Norwich certainly do. Robinson denied his first Swindon goal by his own teammates, seemingly. Here's Culverhouse, and that's a bad ball. Having praised him, he's given it away in an awful position. Hignett, Henry just ahead of him. Well, he got back well, and again. Well, you can criticise him, of course, for making the mistake, but how well he recovered.
Excellent recovery, as you say, but I tell you what, the big boy Taylor did not have to do well. He delayed Hignett just enough to allow Culverhouse to get a back tackle on him.
There's Pollock. And another sloppy ball. Comes back to Horlock. Swindon's throw. Swindon managed only 5 wins from their 42 league games in the Premiership last season, and lost heavily in a lot of matches. It was a sad season for them, having won the playoffs the previous season. But at the moment, they've got to do an awful lot better than they have so far to hang on to their first division place. Challenge there by Fleming on Robinson is going to earn the Middlesbrough player a yellow card. I've got a bit of sympathy for him there. I thought it was a genuine attempt to win the ball.
Definitely, definitely. I think that is a case of where 2 players, the lad Robinson just about gets there in time, but I think there's nothing else in mind there. It looks worse than I'm sure the intent was, but I suppose in this climate, referees will book for virtually anything.
Yeah, slow motion didn't do him any favours.
No, it didn't,
there,
to be fair, but we're sat right above it, and very often your gut feeling is the one you go by, and I must confess, I thought he made a genuine attempt for the ball there.
Horlock slides an excellent ball to Much. Well, he had to try and hit that quickly, I think, because there was not much on in the middle. Scored those 2 goals against Millwall, 2 goals earlier in the season in the Anglo-Italian. Not on target yet in the league, Andy Much. He hasn't played that often.
Got an ugly little bobble just before he hit it, but some great movement from Much. Great little run from right to left there to link up with the pass.
Confirmation of the yellow card for Fleming of Middlesbrough. And with 31 minutes gone here, it's Swindon 1, Middlesbrough 1, and 1 booking each. Culverhouse under pressure here from Hendry did the right thing. Began his career at Tottenham Hotspur, Ian Culverhouse. Hendry. Fleming. Oh, he did well there. And a good cross as well. Swindon at full stretch to deal with it. White. Pollock. Goes back to Pearson. Ooh, his first touch was a poor one, but he's got away with it. Pearson. And Alan Moore forced into the error by Joey Beecham. Nice little layoff there by Moore to Morris, and then Pearson hooks it forward, and it's dropped kindly here for Middlesbrough. And it wasn't a bad through ball either by Mustoe, just too much pace for Hendry though.
Also some excellent support play from Mustoe. As soon as the ball went forward, he anticipated that Taylor was going to get the little back header on it. He's caught play up brilliantly there.
Morris's clearance finds Mustoe again. Hendry, and again, looking for Hickman on the right. Bodin defended well. And it wasn't the best kick again from Nicky Hammond. He doesn't look too happy when the ball's played back to him. Moore. Oh, brilliant play by Moore. Oh, how unlucky. That would have been a magnificent goal from the young Irishman. And Swindon get a goal kick.
And there won't be a more relief player on the field with him than the goalkeeper Hammond. All led from his weak clearance, but this is good control, good skill. Nick's a defender. He will have thought that's a goal from the moment he hit it. That's a hell of a let-off for both Hammond and Swindon. But it's good close control, good little nutmegs. Strikes it brilliantly. And the odds are that's going to hit the inside of the post and fly in the net.
Well, that would have been a crucial moment for Middlesbrough to regain their lead, 12 minutes to half-time. But it was not to be. Swindon live again. Taylor's clearance. Spectacular header away by Vickers, but it comes through to Much. Vickers is still lying on the ground. He fell heavily from that header and is still down injured as Taylor wins it back for Swindon. Fjortoft did well to reach that. Beecham in a bit slowly, but Swindon get the throw-in. Steve Vickers is all right again now, the former Tranmere centre-half, who is a northeasterner, comes from Bishop Auckland. That had gone out of play. Swindon's throw-in. Nyholt finds a bit of room. Horlock. Fjortoft's little header. That's a good tackle by Taylor. Came straight through Hendry. And Horlock finds Fjortoft. Just about kept in by Ling. Beecham. Fjortoft's still there. Oh, that's a lovely little back heeler, and the cross was hit with real pace.
That is definitely Swindon's best move of the game. All starting with the build-up onto Fleming.
Fleming has given it away to Robinson. Now Nyholt. Robinson again. Fjortoft on the far post. That was a really good chance, and he's missed it.
Well, that's the second. That's the sort of expect. I like it. Before he the fun now. What would surprise him, I think, is it you would expect Nigel Pearson to have headed this away. I must admit, I thought big Nigel would get on the end of that, but it's too much for him, and that can be the only thing said in Fjortoft's defence, that he possibly hasn't seen that till very, very late in flight.
So the First Division's leading scorer, not just Swindon's, has missed the best chance of the half.
But the one thing you can guarantee is that won't deter him from going into the box looking for others.
Captained Norway in recent internationals, Jan Fjortoft. His career has really taken off since he came to England. Nyholt, another of the foreigners, the Dutchman, finds Fjortoft. Fleming, who gave the ball away, and must have been a very relieved man when Fjortoft missed that header. Mustoe hits it first time. Hendry's offside though.
Yeah, contrasting styles, isn't it? I mean, both Fjortoft and Much like the ball played into them. Like to sort of roll defenders. The three little boys, and I call them or smaller boys up front for Middlesbrough, all sharp, all lively, all bright, real, a lot of movement, and the sort of skill that Moore showed when he hit the foot of the post just.
Martin Ling finds Horlock. Eight minutes of the first half remaining. Both sides unlucky, perhaps not to have taken the lead here. Bowden with the shot. And Swindon can count themselves unlucky again. That was a terrific effort by Paul Bowden.
Oh, he said go on that one, didn't he? As soon as the ball dropped for him, you could see that big left foot of his, and it is a good left foot. He's making up the ground here, and I must say, my money was on him when he cracked it. I still think it's gone in.
He's been a good player for Swindon, Paul Bowden. He had a short spell at Crystal Palace, but basically he's played most of his football here. Strong, attacking left-back with a powerful shot, as you saw then. Andy Much for Swindon. Fleming wins it back. That's good play. Gets it back again from Hendry. Looked for Hignett. Bowden's there defending well as well now. And Hammond just nicked it away, but didn't look too certain on that kick clearance either. Morris. Moore did well to hold off Ling. And he's got round Robinson. White's clearance, Swindon's throw-in. It's a good open game.
I think it's an intriguing game. You've got a contrast of styles. Very compact Middlesbrough side, playing it nice and short and bright, 1- and 2-touch passing with a bit of flair up front. Swindon that little bit more direct.
As they were then, with Robinson finding Fjortoft, but Borough have it back.
I think you saw a problem then that Fjortoft can create as well. Sort of the same thing as Mark Hughes does for Man U. He's very, very good at getting his body between the defender and the ball, and there'll be a tendency sometimes, I can imagine him picking up a lot of penalties for being pushed. I mean, I thought for a moment then Nigel Pearson was going to push him in the back on that last high ball.
Swindon sweeping forward again. Joey Beecham taking on Morris. Bowden. Beecham's done well to reach that. Can he get the cross in? It's a bit tight for him. Horlock helps him out, and that's a good ball to Bowden. And pull back to Fjortoft. Well, he claimed the goal that might not 100% have been his. Since then, he's had two outstanding chances to score again.
And Alan, that was by far the better one. He pulled away great when Bowden cut the ball back to him, and I would have expected to see him smack the back of the net with it.
And you have to say that Swindon, since scoring their equalising goal, have been the better side and certainly looked the more dangerous. And now Fleming is in trouble here because he has already been shown the yellow card. He's just clashed with Nijholt, and that can only mean one thing for the young Irishman who is protesting his innocence. It seemed a nothing sort of incident, really, but it's a second bookable offence, and that means that Curtis Fleming is dismissed in the last 5 minutes of the first half, and Middlesbrough, the leaders, have found things going all wrong for them in the last 20 minutes here. It was a nudge seen by the referee, an angry reaction, nothing particularly malicious or aggressive, but you're not allowed to do that on a football field, as Brian Robson will underline heavily to Fleming at half-time, and now he's dropped his side into trouble here. Real drama. Nijholt, the Swindon player involved in that incident. Fleming wasn't too happy with his challenge and showed his anger. Beecham's free kick looks good. And Nijholt hits the rebound just over the bar.
Every sympathy with Fleming on the first booking when he got originally, but no sympathy with him whatsoever on that. I mean, yeah. To be fair, that's the slam. That's when he's just whacking it half volleying it wide. But to be fair, on the second incident, Alan, he's turned round, he's banging in front of the linesman. I actually think the linesman flagged for it more than anything else. Here's the good chance here now. This should have been a goal. Good, great movement. He's cut it back. All right, albeit Vickers has closed him out quite well, but that was a move worthy of a goal. But the incident that might now change the whole course of the game, the sending off of Fleming, has nothing to do with anything else than a lack of professionalism from Fleming. I can understand his reaction. Maybe he thought Nijholt had gone a little bit high when he headed the ball. The linesman had his flag up for something, I can only assume, when Fleming retaliated or made his gesture.
Well, it's going to also, I would imagine, cause a problem tactically for Middlesbrough now, because they've been playing that system with the three centre-backs and the full-backs getting forward. They've got to change that round now, and I wonder if they'll go to a conventional back four for the second half.
I think that's a certainty. I think White will go back to more or less play as a left-back in the conventional manner. This is something I've been waiting for, you know. I haven't seen... Middlesbrough haven't had a corner yet, have they?
No, this is the first, I think.
Corner.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting to see people like Pearson and Vickers get in the box against them. And Pearson's a particular danger. They're playing the short one to start with. Now he'll set it back. Or should have set it into the far post.
Hignett in possession. He was caught in two minds. Still got it, though. And clever ball for Hendry, who really hammered it in there, and Bodin was the first player to reach it and head behind for another corner.
I think they'd be advised on this one to stick it into the danger zone and let Pearson get on the end of it.
About a minute and a half remaining in the first half here, and Middlesbrough, who took the lead in this game, have since seen that lead wiped out by Swindon, and Swindon could easily be in front. They've had 2 or 3 really good chances to take the lead, and Middlesbrough are now down to 10 men. Fleming sent off. And Swindon have dealt with the corner. And Fjortoft has won a free kick, has he? Well, certainly Nijholt will. If the first one wasn't a foul, the second one was, and indeed the referee's reaching for the card again. Morris could be in a bit of trouble here.
I think it's Pearson. Whether it's who he's going to book, he looks if he's... Yes, he's going to book Pearson. I thought for a minute he was going to book Pollock, but definitely Pearson that tripped the lad down.
Yes, it was the second challenge that he deemed worthy of the booking by Pearson. Taylor with the free kick. Headed away by Vickers, didn't realise he got the ball. Much turned it back into the danger zone. Middlesbrough will be anxious to hear the half-time whistle. They've been under some pressure, and they want to reorganise after the dismissal of Fleming. Hendry. I think that'll go out. Well, he did well to reach it, Hignett, and Pollock has done even better. Hignett again. Now Morris. Slid out by Beecham. And that, in fact, is the end of a very entertaining first half here at the county ground. Fjortoft claiming the Swindon Town equaliser after Middlesbrough had taken the lead following a free kick taken by Craig Hignett, and he hit the rebound in when it came back to him off the wall. With Curtis Fleming sending off, we've got all kinds of drama to look forward to in the second half. Don't miss it. The half-time score at the county ground: Swindon Town 1, Middlesbrough 1.
So things bubbling down at the county ground. Just to repeat that score: Swindon Town 1, the league leaders Middlesbrough 1. Reassurance to the Rovers fans, by the way, there will be full highlights of yesterday's match against Oxford after our live match from Swindon. Back in a couple of minutes.
So far, you have had it easy peasy. Now, for the terrible resistance test. Come around! Implement approacher! Golden flakes encrusted with honey, nuts, and brown sugar. You admire, you want, you salivate. But to be legionnaires, you must resist! Resist! Perhaps we pushed them too far this time, Corporal.
Kellogg's Crunchy Nut Cornflakes. The trouble is they taste too good.
Good afternoon.
morning, Zirab. It's time to get up.
It's morning, and the name's Tim. Flipping wardrobe mat. Thank goodness for McLean's. At least there's one thing I can rely on.
McLean's helps fight plaque, the main cause of tooth decay and gum disease. Even back in the 90s, its new formulation was incredibly advanced.
My old granny wouldn't use any of the toothpaste. Hello, Gran. Her teeth are the only original parts left.
What's that? Hey, but what does the Sun say? The Sun says everyone can get away on a 5-day, £9.50 holiday. 126 wonderful holiday destinations to discover. Get away on a fun-filled 5-day, £9.50 holiday. Oh, so that's what tomorrow's Sun says.
Cats love to be clean. And there isn't a cleaner cat litter than Catsan. Catsan works differently from ordinary litters. Each absorbent granule neutralizes odor before it has a chance to develop. Catsan Hygiene Litter absorbs before odor can develop.
Uncle Ben's new tikka masala sauce combines yogurt and cream, fresh crushed and diced onions, ground coriander, and fresh coriander leaves. No wonder Uncle Ben's tikka masala tastes so good. Uncle Ben's sauces, perfect results every time.
If you've got kids and you want to go out to work, with the money you have to fork out for childcare, can you afford to? Well, don't worry. Because if you work 16 hours a week or more and you pay childcare charges, these can now be taken into account in some of your benefits. So, for more information about new help with childcare charges, phone free on 0800 88 44 11. If you've got kids and you want to go out to work, can you afford not to?
It's on. The Bristol Bathroom Company's once-a-year sale is now on. Now on. Now on. Now on. Now on.
Mom's got it all, buddy. Give it all up for new Miles eggs. It's the great taste of Miles, but it ain't in bars. It's in wicked new Miles eggs. So soft and smooth. You don't have to be a rabbit to want to have it. The smooth taste makes you bad for new Miles eggs. You can't get more taste in an egg.
Welcome back. The half-time score at the county ground. Swindon Town 1, Middlesbrough 1. Mark Lawrenson. Swindon overawed at the very start by the league leaders, weren't they?
I think they were just a bit sluggish, Bob. Whether the match on Wednesday had taken a lot out of the legs, I'm not quite sure. Middlesbrough started very, very brightly. Certainly Hendry, who we'd identified as a danger man, was turning out to be the danger man. I think he had a header within the first minute, didn't he? And as I say, Middlesbrough started brightly. I think Swindon had problems coping with the system because they pushed the full-backs on Middlesbrough, and I thought Swindon was sat back somewhat.
Middlesbrough put the pressure on, then we saw the Hignett goal. It came from a free kick,
yeah.
Or after a free kick, rather.
Well, that's right, I think, and it was Horlock who'd made the tackle and got booked. And I mean, the initial shot gets blocked, and it's a left-foot swinger, really. I mean, Hammond in the Swindon goal doesn't even move, and you can tell by the smile on young Hignett's face that he had no idea once he'd hit the first one where the second one was going to go. The wall did its job. In fact, it came back off a Middlesbrough player, and being predominantly right-footed, he just swung at that with his left foot, and it's finished in the corner. Here's the other angle, and it's one of those that, you know, sometimes they go in, sometimes they go in the house behind the stand. Right in the corner. And Hammond, now, you can only presume, was completely unsighted. Now, let's see. We go now to the Fjordhoff goal. Swindon seemed to gain confidence into the second quarter, didn't they? They knew how to cope with Middlesbrough. Yeah, I think what they did, and, you know, because they went 1-0 down, as you've just seen, and they had to stop the bleeding, really. And it's a good corner from Beecham. Good header by Robinson, on its way into goal. And I think Fjordhoff has got the slightest of touches in. I think, as Ron Atkinson and Alan Polly rightly said, he was going to claim it regardless. Good corner, wasn't it? But it's a good jump there by Robinson. Just got in front of his man, and Fjordhoff's going to claim the goal. So what do you think they said to each other? Robinson's could have gone in there, couldn't it? I can bet that Robinson said, "Did you touch it?" And of course Fjordhoff would say yes, and that added a few thousand to his value, didn't it? I would think so, yeah. Right, we moved to a chance at each end. Moore, of course, showed some dazzling skills. I mean, he's a lovely bit of ability. He's all left foot, this lad. He loves to run at players, and he just gets a ball just halfway inside Swindon's half. Lovely little nutmeg on Taylor, and you know, Hammond very, very fortunate. He'd have heard the death rattle when it hit the post and would have thought it ended up in the back of the net. Great little bit of skill there. There's nothing you can do about that. Sweetly struck left foot. Unfortunate for Swindon's come off the post.
Now at the other end?
Yes, I mean, that's possibly, I mean, Fjordhoff had another chance after that, but I thought that was possibly the best chance because it's come a long way to him. He's seen it coming all the way, and maybe he just thought that the defender was going to get it, and he possibly just took his eye off.
Robinson, Fjordhoff and Much, are they combining well?
Well, I think as the game's gone on, certainly, I think what Swindon have done, they've pushed up a bit and they've started to stretch Middlesbrough a bit. I think Beecham started to push up on the left, Horlock started to push up, and it stopped. It's denied, really, Middlesbrough all the room to play. And in doing so, you know, with Swindon being pushing up, they've also been able to get men forward from that position.
Might we move to the key to the match, probably, the sending off of Fleming? Just talk us through this, will you?
Well, Curtis Fleming is absolutely crazy because he got booked, and rightly booked in the first instance, and the ball's just up there, and Nyholt's come into challenge, maybe a bit high, turns his back, and Nyholt's not doing anything wrong there, Bob. He's getting on with the game. Fleming raises his arms, and as everybody knows at the moment in professional football, if you raise your arms and you touch somebody, you're going to get sent off, or at the very least you're going to get booked, so that's 2 bookable offences, and I think he'll be sat in the bath now with the soap and the loofah.
But do you think they made a meal of it, the Swindon men? Do you make a meal of it?
Not really, but Bob, I think it's just the fact, as soon as you raise your hands, is what people must realise is that the referee is always going to caution you. And the thing about that now is that Middlesbrough are going to have to change the way they're going to play because down to 10 men, they're probably going to play flat back 4. I think Fjordhoff, I mean, he turned his back at the end, knowing he's not going to get the ball, and nothing malicious about it. And the fact, and really, Curtis Fleming overreacted to it.
How will Swindon change their game now?
Well, I think that, you know, it's actually difficult 11 against 10, and what you shouldn't have to do is you should just pass the ball to each other. It's no good having an extra touch because it negates the fact that the opposition have only got 10. You've got to get the 2 fellas wide, which will be Horlock and Beauchamp, get the ball to them and look to play in and around the box.
Well, we'll take another break, and when we return, we hope to have first half highlights from Port Vale's match with Tranmere, then the second half of our live match, that's Swindon against Middlesbrough.
Jonathan.
Oh, I like the whip of the whapper, roll it around, and really relish the creamy white interior. Oi!
Hi there, egg pickers. I ate them whole. Not half. I've started, so I'll finish.
2 furlongs to go, and it's Leicester on the outside of Cadbury. It's Cream Egg trying desperately to get on the inside, and it's going to be a photo finish.
Edwin, yours.
So far, you have had it. Easy peasy. Now, the resistance test. Come around. Implement of torture. Golden flakes encrusted with honey, nuts, and brown sugar. You admire, you want, you salivate, but you must resist! Resist! Perhaps we pushed them too far this time, comrade.
Kellogg's crunchy nut cornflakes. The trouble is they taste too good.
The thing about new beef burger flavor Monster Munch is that they're so big. Oh my. Whole half quarter pounder. New beef burger flavor Monster Munch. They're monstrous.
What's that? Hey, but what does the sun say? Tomorrow's sun says get away on a fun-filled 5-day £9.50 holiday.
It's the power of the menthol vapor action in Hall's Mentholyptus that helps to release the pressure of that blocked up feeling.
Every 4th car accident happens from the side. That's why Volvo has SIPS, a system that transfers the energy away from the impact. Now Volvo has added a new dimension, the SIPS bag. The first airbag that protects your weakest side, or that of your passenger. The SIPS bag, the first on your side, in your seat. By Volvo.
Bienvenue to the Club Hot. deep in the throbbing heart of Paris. A slick, chic haven where the dapper denizens of the city by the Seine come to unwind. For here we find the globally renowned antidote to all roughness. Heineken Export, the strong silken lager that's smoother than a cashmere codpiece. Heineken Export, as recommended by your smooth-talking bar steward.
Why not pamper yourself this year with a luxurious P&O cruise? Save 17.5% on absolutely every Canberra, Sea Princess and Oriana sailing. So for expert advice and a huge saving on your P&O cruise, come in and see us at Baker's Dolphin.
Baker's Dolphin, your best friend in travel.
Welcome back. Well, as I promised, we can bring you some of the first half action from Port Vale against Tranmere. The commentator now is Rob Palmer. He'll join us any minute now. We're just waiting for those pictures to come up. An important match, obviously the bottom of the league there. Let's join the pictures right now.
McGreal and Dave Higgins, the Tranmere centre-halves, have been working overtime so far. As Nail a twist past Higgins, sends him for a second time. How good will the cross be? Not quite good enough to reach Foyle. Danger still not over. Port Vale moving the ball around well. Oh, what a goal! As they say in the Potteries, take that. Alan Tankard let fly, and that was one heck of a goal.
Well, of course, that's a surprise score, doesn't it? It doesn't do Swindon or Bristol City any favours, because I think they're just at the bottom of the league as well, aren't they?
I think they're just underneath Swindon and obviously just above Bristol City. I think the thing is, Bob, that all the fans certainly around here, all the City and Swindon fans, will be hoping that Tranmere stage a second half recovery and get themselves 3 points and keep Port Vale towards the bottom.
Right, can we turn now to the match we've been watching, that's Swindon versus Middlesbrough. What do you think manager McMahon is saying to the team?
Well, I think he'd be quite pleased that the side have got themselves back into the game, and the fact that Middlesbrough are down to 10 men. As we said before, you know, Swindon did start sluggish. They had a problem with the system in which Middlesbrough were operating against them. I think, as we said before, you know, playing against 10 men, you've really got to pass the ball. You've got to make the ball do the work. The ball will always travel quicker than any man can, and if you pass it, and if you get your movement, and I think if the quality of the balls to the front men and up to Much and Fjortoft, plus some midfield running from the likes of Ling, Beauchamp and Horlock, you'd have to fancy Swindon to go on and win the game. And I mean, they will never get a better chance of beating Middlesbrough than down to 10 men.
10 men, I was going to say that. That's going to make a difference.
I mean, well, it is make a difference, and you have to remember that they're going to reorganise. They'll play 4 at the back, but primarily the left back, who's really a centre back, Derek White, the boy they signed from Celtic, he is primarily a centre back. So it'll be interesting to see if actually Swindon employ Beauchamp out on the right hand side, you know, a winger against what is potentially a centre back and a weakness.
Just very briefly, Nicky Hammond, he's been pretty shaky at the back, hasn't he?
Well, I don't think he didn't have much chance with the goal because he was unsighted, and the fact that Moore's shot hit the post. But I think generally Swindon will be confident because they've got themselves back in the game.
Mark, thank you. Well, the second half's about to get underway at Swindon. Let's join Ron Atkinson and Alan Parry.
Welcome back to the county ground. Middlesbrough facing a real problem now here in the second half, down to 10 men, of course. Their last away defeat in the league over 2 months ago, a 2-1 reverse at Grimsby. They've only lost 3 away games all season, Port Vale, Luton and Grimsby. They've only lost 5 matches home or away in the league this season. But in a similar situation, Ron Atkinson reminded me at half-time when they had a player sent off in the first half at Reading a few weeks back. They held on that day for a draw. They'd be more than happy, I'm sure, if offered a point at the moment, to get on the plane back to the northeast and settle for that. Fjortoft with a lovely bit of skill on the ball, and then a dive, according to the referee, at the end of it. Hendry offside in the other half. I think you could call that a questioning look from Jan Fjortoft towards referee Pooley.
He did actually come over here from Norway, or from Vienna as it was at the time, with a reputation for being a bit of a diver, though.
But he certainly upheld it then.
I actually thought he should have had a foul for it, to be fair. He exaggerated it, but I thought it was a foul.
Here's Alan Moore.
Yeah, there's going to be a big responsibility on him, Moore. I think I would be... Oh, that's a lovely
ball for Henry. Danger here. Nicky Hammond reacted very well.
I think you'll find that Moore will be asked to operate virtually as a conventional left-sided player to help. They're playing with a... They're going to look as if they're going to play with a conventional back four, with White going into the left-back position. And I think Moore will play up and down the left-hand side more, both helping out in the midfield areas and carrying the fight along that particular flank.
Middlesbrough choosing to go back to goalkeeper Miller, who I don't, oddly enough, recall having made a save in this game, even though he could have been beaten 3 or even 4 times, no exaggeration.
I think on the other side, I think you'd also say that the Swindon fans might just level that against Hammond as well, although his post did help him out on one occasion.
7 years as an understudy to John Lukic and David Seaman at Highbury for Alan Miller. Henry doing well here on the run for the penalty area, but ultimately ends in failure and a goal kick to Swindon Town. Captain of club and country, of course, Brian Robson, in that fantastic playing career, which hasn't finished yet. 13 years at Manchester United, in which he won just about every honour going. Viv Anderson, former Nottingham Forest, Arsenal and England defender, is number 2. Fjortoft battling away well. He's got lovely skill on the ball, the Norwegian. Much at the other end with a very important little header, and then an equally vital challenge by Pearson. Fjortoft again. And another good tackle, this time by White. Moore trying to disentangle himself from all those Swindon players, but couldn't do so. Taylor playing it back in, and a good ball as well. Robinson. Moore will be the outlet in what's bound to be a bit of a defensive action for Middlesbrough in this second half. Down to 10 men, remember. Here goes Ling for Swindon. Beecham. Not quite sure whether that was meant to be a shot to deceive the goalkeeper or a cross. White playing it forward for Henry. And let's not forget that not only are they down to 10 men, Middlesbrough, but they're missing their big target man, Paul Wilkinson, out injured today. They're also missing Brian Robson himself on the field. Certainly one thing you can say already, for a team in the bottom 4 in the table, Swindon have played remarkably well today, and they don't look like a side in trouble. But they are.
You would also expect them, after their midweek performance, to have so much adrenaline, because that, you know, that's obviously given the club and all the players a big lift to be bang on form today.
Yes, they
and
played.
As you said, they've certainly played. They've played well enough.
Well, there's a good tackle to win the ball back by Mustoe for Middlesbrough. And an equally good challenge again to take it off Robinson. And the ball pulled back to Henry. Oh, it was unlucky for Henry. He's got a corner out of it, though.
Once again, you saw a natural goal scorer. Ball worked down the left-hand side very, very well. And Henry was first across to the near post, realising that that was going to be where the ball was most likely to drop. It was one sided corner.
Pearson coming forward. Vickers is there too, and White, all 3 of the centre-backs. Oh, White's just pulled out again. And Hammond took charge of the situation. And a good early throw by the Swindon goalkeeper to Beecham. Nothing on, so he had to turn it back to Bodin. Horlock. Looking for much. Beecham. This is Bodin. Hit in long for Fjortoft. Good defending. Cleared upfield towards Hendry, but the ball pumped back in by Taylor into the Middlesbrough half. White just helps it on. And that's a terrific ball for Hendry. Chance here. Well, strangely enough, if he'd looked up, he would have seen Alan Moore unmarked in the middle. Sure, we'll come back to that one, but at the moment, it's Swindon counter-attacking with Bodin. That was a real chance for Middlesbrough. Much at the other end. Fjortoft! Must have just got a touch off the defender or the goalkeeper. A corner has been given.
We've seen two brilliant breaks just at each end. That's a cunning ball in there from Bodin. Nice little well flick on there. And there's Fjortoft. He can't really get his balance, and they only assume the keeper's tipped that one around the post.
Yeah, looked a goal kick, I must say, but corner's been given. And danger here. Beecham in possession. It's turned in by Horlock. Swindon are in front. 11 minutes gone in the second half, and that driven cross only had to be met by Horlock to produce a goal. Well, when you hit a cross with that kind of pace that Beecham got on the ball, then one touch is enough to beat the goalkeeper.
One touch, but some good anticipation from Horlock there, you know. I mean, he looked the least likely to get on the end of that at one stage of the movement, and he's gone in, he's realised where the ball's going to go, and he's attacked it. But it's not a great surprise, is it, that Swindon have gone into the lead? I mean, I think it's a hell of a mountain. I mean, they've just had one decent chance at the other end, Middlesbrough, but I think it's a hell of a mountain for them at the moment. And that certainly hasn't improved this year.
Only the second goal, incidentally, that Horlock's ever scored in Swindon's first team. What a moment to get it against the leaders, Middlesbrough, who find themselves 2 on behind here and up against it with only 10 men on the field. And amazingly, before that Horlock goal, Middlesbrough might have scored themselves at the other end. Here's the goal again, Ron.
Yeah, I mean, it's a move they've worked several times, 2 against 1 outside. Now, he just lashes that ball in, but all credit to Horlock. He's made about 6 or 7 yards as the play's developing, anticipating that that's where the ball's going to be.
Well, it's an amazing fact that Swindon's last victory was a 3-2 win on this ground over 3 months ago against Wolves, who at that time were leaders of the First Division. So they produced their best against the better teams. Morris in a chase here with Beecham did really well, the Republic of Ireland international. And then gets it back from Hignett. Seems a long time ago now, that Hignett goal, doesn't it? Hendry misses out again to Taylor, who's performed very well at the back for Swindon. Beecham. In it goes for Fjortoft. Came off his knee, but he still got there and got a prodded shot in.
It's another clever ball in from Joey Beecham there. Just dropping in that little area, just short of the near post. You know, a little curly one, right? Drops it in a nice little danger area. Fjortoft always aware that that's an area where it's a danger zone. I'm still curious about the corner that led up to the Swindon goal.
Yeah, my first thought was it should have been a goal kick, and when you look back at the slow motion replay, it seemed to suggest that it should have been that.
This will be interesting, bearing in mind what the referee's done on previous occasions.
He's reaching for the back pocket. I'm sure it'll only be a yellow card. It wasn't that bad a challenge. It was more clumsy than anything else.
Didn't particularly notice much protesting by the Middlesbrough players, did you, about the corner?
No.
That's often a telltale sign.
Pollock shown the yellow card, incidentally, as we thought. So much happening in this game that you can forget incidents, but just before Swindon's goal, Hendry broke loose and Alan Moore was unmarked in the middle of the Swindon goal mouth. Had he passed rather than shot, they might have had a goal themselves. But there's no time to look back on too many incidents in this match. There's so much happening. It's been a very good game. Fjortoft, lovely skill on the ball again from him. Robinson knocking it in long. Cleared by Vickers. Henry will chase this, but he's outnumbered 2-1. It was a risky header by Culverhouse, with Henry chasing it in, but he measured it perfectly to Hammond. An hour of the game gone. Swindon Town 2, Middlesbrough, the First Division leaders, 1. Bowed in for Middlesbrough, offside. That looked a very marginal decision against Martin Ling. Here's the shot that produced the corner, which in itself led to the Middlesbrough goal, the Swindon goal. Now, did any defensive player touch that? Ooh, it was a fingernail, if that. Good play there by Mustoe for Middlesbrough, but one back by Ling. Taylor's hurried clearance has gone straight to Morris. And then Hendry brought down. The referee hasn't given a free kick, though. Hendry absolutely disgusted with that decision as Swindon break clear with Ling. Well, it must have been the one thing that Middlesbrough obviously dreaded, going a goal behind. It was going to be difficult enough to hold on to a 1-1 scoreline with 10 men. Now they're 2-1 down. And Brian Robson and Viv Anderson have got a real problem on their hands.
I certainly don't think they thought they would have been exploited by 2 corners either. You'd have looked at their lineup before the match and said the one thing they won't have too many problems with is defending set plays.
Hammond's clearance, he made sure he got plenty of lift on that one. Horlock, scorer of Swindon's second goal. What a lovely ball that was. Ling. Good goalkeeping by Alan Miller.
Ling's pulled out now. He's pulled it into a very wide orthodox right-hand position, almost as a right winger, and there's acres of space there. White's still playing fairly narrow. White's still playing in the position. Look, see how much distance he gives him to put the cross in. He's still playing as a third centre-back instead of taking a wider defensive position.
Beecham turning it long. Much will chase that one. Pearson got there first. Now Morris. Hignett. Henry overlapping down the right. Bodin took it off him. Pearson. Sloppy ball by Henry. Bodin with an easy interception. And as much to chase that one. Vickers got there first. Very calm play by Alan Miller in the Borough goal. Vickers saying, look, nobody's moving. Who do I hit? Henry. Good challenge by Culverhouse. Bodin turns it back. And Hammond doing a lot better with his kicking in this half. Fjortoft. Yeah, that's nice skill by Morris. But not a good ball. Robinson. And again, Ling now occupying that empty space on the right. And a good ball. Much. Robinson on the overlap. Fjortoft in the middle. Never reached him. To Borough's relief. Alan Moore has switched from the left to the right now for the moment for Middlesbrough, but still no joy. As Swindon have it back with Beecham. Ran into trouble. Now Moore. And Bodin did the right thing then. Because there wasn't a great deal of cover on behind him. Pollock. Hignett. Good run by Mustoe, and he's seen him. So did Nyholt. It comes to Hendry, though. Oh, I'm not sure what he was trying then, but it didn't come off.
I think he thought that Mustoe was going to pull away more to the back post and stand a little chip in there for him. I mean, they're still a threat, you know, Middlesbrough. When they're coming forward, they've got some exciting front players, all capable of doing a trick. This is where I'm not sure. I mean, I think the Swindon front runners are revelling in the extra space now.
Horlock has found some space and found Fjortoft offside.
I think Much and Fjortoft find it now. It's far easier to run down the channels. A lot more space in behind the Middlesbrough full-back areas.
Fjortoft's going to be cautioned for attempting the shot there when the referee had already blown the whistle. He's trying to say he didn't hear it. Linesman flagged. You can't expect the player to see that. I always find that a very petty sort of caution, frankly. Wasn't as if he deliberately lashed the ball out of play to waste time.
In actual fact, by virtue of the fact he's chipped it to the keeper and the keeper rolls it back, it's probably less of a time wasting than if he just left the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. But referees are told to caution players for that. It's not necessarily their fault, rather the people who enforce the laws and make them. But then again, they take a very strange view of the game, as we all know. 21 minutes gone in the second half here at the county ground. Steve McMahon's Swindon Town lead Middlesbrough, the Ensley First Division top team today, by 2 goals to 1. And on the attack again with Much. And he's won a corner. Pearson's clearance. And it's corners that have proved Middlesbrough's undoing so far today. Bodin has made a run unspotted by any Middlesbrough player and gets the ball. And turns it in dangerously, and Much and Horlock went for the same ball, and big Sean Taylor hit the roof of the stand with his shot.
It's a big header that from Vickers. His red shirt's pounding in on him there.
In terms of goal attempts in this game, Swindon have had 10 to Middlesbrough 7, so therefore the 2-1 scoreline in Swindon's favour, you could say, is a fair reflection of the play. And indeed, I think it is. Good ball by Hignett forward. Moore leaves it, and Henry! It was a brave piece of goalkeeping by Nicky Hammond that prevented Henry scoring an equaliser then. And he's the one who's come off worse than Middlesbrough's striker. Good work there by Hammond.
As you say, very brave goalkeeping, but once again just showing the danger that does lurk in the Middlesbrough front line. I mean, almost out of nothing there. You see little Henry going very, very brave, and equally brave the goalkeeper's made a good stop.
Henry okay again. And the corner knocked in long. Vickers got the back header on it. Much got it away. Moore. Oh, he got caught napping there. And he's got some work to do to get back here. It's a very long run by Horlock. And he's found Fjortoft on the end of it. And Fjortoft's done brilliantly. It was a very deliberate chip, but it was not an accurate one.
I tell you what, I've seen Jan Fjortoft play a few times. I don't think I've seen him show quite that much skill on the edge of the box. This is a brilliant little change step. Looked all the world as if you're going inside the defender, and he's played that into a danger area. Just stood it in there and said, go on, Muchie, can you get on the end of that? Lovely little change step here. It looks as if he's coming in to bend it again and change his feet and just flights it into a danger zone.
Well, John Gorman lost his job here at Swindon Town because of poor results, but one wonderful legacy he certainly has left Swindon is Jan Fjortoft, a man who If they want to, they could certainly make an awful lot of money out of Arnshaw. That looked like handball there by Pearson. The referee says play on. Ling, White across to cover. Robinson comes inside and does well. Oh, unlucky. Vickers defended well. And he needs a bit of help, Vickers. Big Sean Taylor wins another header, but it's picked up by Mustoe. Now Hignett. A long ball by White. Henry, the only one prepared to chase for Middlesbrough. Ling for Swindon. It's Middlesbrough's throw as well. Mustoe. Played it in behind Pollock. But considering they're 2-1 down and down to 10 men, Middlesbrough having a good spell here.
Yeah, and they're well capable of scoring another goal. I certainly think Swindon would dearly love another goal to put the game beyond Middlesbrough. Because you always get the feeling that Middlesbrough can work something. Their front players are so bright and lively.
And here's one of them, Hignett. Tries the shots. Hammond equal to it again.
I think that's been one of the things that's made it a good game. You know, the front players on both sides are playing very well. I mean, we've had Hignett, we've had flashes of brilliance from Moore, we've had Hignett and Hendry always a threat. And at the other end, much working tirelessly. And of course, Fjordtaft always liable to make something happen.
It's always been an open game. Credit to both the teams. No defensive thoughts on either side. Nyholt. Fjordtaft in a good position in the middle. Pearson did well with the header. Horlock wins it back. Beecham. Chipped in for much, coming in far edge of the box. And one back by Beecham. Much is in the middle again. Pearson's clearance, Fjordtaft. And he's won a corner. 18 minutes to go. Swindon lead 2-1 here.
I'm sure it's the absence of Curtis Fleming, but certainly this half, Swindon have had far more value from their wide positions.
Another Swindon corner. Beecham. Ling invited to make the cross into the danger area and provides it. And was that handball as much went in? There was a great shout for handball, but in fact the handball, according to the referee, was by a Swindon player, not a Middlesbrough defender.
I think there might have been an appeal, or the Swindon players might have been appealing for an earlier handball in the flight. No, the referee once again spot on. And also, don't overlook the fact that Miller's made it's Fjordtaft himself. They've gone for the secondary one, but it's the Swindon one was first.
I think there could have been about 3 handballs in that incident.
I'm going to say the keeper didn't get enough credit either in the confusion.
Foul by Taylor, who I think is going to be cautioned for it. I think the referee's been a bit overzealous sometimes. It seemed to me that he just couldn't get out of the way of the Middlesbrough player there, and didn't mean to bring him down.
But that's the problem referees have got. They make a rod for their own back, i.e. the first Curtis Fleming challenge. Curtis Strange, that's a hell of a tackle. Curtis Strange, yeah. Curtis Fleming.
You've been playing too much golf on holiday, obviously. Chipped in by Vickers.
Oh, I play golf like Curtis Fleming.
Whistle's gone again. Offside. Incidentally, the news from the Middlesbrough dressing room, as you will not be surprised to hear, that Brian Robson laid down the law to Curtis Fleming. He will be automatically fined. It's a club rule of Brian Robson's, and he admitted he just had a flash of temper, which might well end up costing his side and him dearly. And here goes Swindon, looking for a third and what would surely be a killer goal. Andy Much can have another try with the cross. Picks out Beecham. Oh dear. That's not one he'll look back on the video tonight with any great pleasure.
I think he had one eye on the ball there and one eye on Chrissy Morris pounding out to pressure him there.
Club record signing Joey Beecham, £700,000, and Adrian Whitbread, who moved on from here to West Ham in exchange. He had about the shortest stay on record with West Ham, of course. 2 training sessions or something. Nijholt. Middlesbrough's throw. Viv Anderson out to collect the ball and keep it going here with only 15 minutes to go. A point would be a real achievement for the leaders. Much. Good control. Pearson takes it off him, though. White. Bit of an aimless ball, really, by Derek White. So the best defence in Division 1 has conceded 2 goals today. And they might be enough to give Swindon a real boost in what's been a terrific week for them after winning the place in the Coca-Cola Cup semi-final, where they play another Ensley First Division side, of course, in Bolton Wanderers, with the first leg here and the second leg at Burnden Park. The Ensley League guaranteed a team in the Coca-Cola final. Alan Moore for Middlesbrough. Musto arriving strongly on the scene. Nijholt tried to get it away. All the Middlesbrough fans behind that goal appealed optimistically for a penalty.
If they take their foot off the pedal now, Middlesbrough, you know, Swindon, you can just sense that Middlesbrough fancy they might nick something. They've crept back into the game at a time when it looked all over.
Yes, they've got to be disciplined and professional here, Swindon. Bodin runs into trouble. Hendry goes down under the challenge from Horlock, but there was no question of that being a penalty. There's no question that that's a free kick, I would think. No, the referee hasn't given that either, surprisingly. Looked a foul by Pearson to me, but on we go. Pollock. Vickers. And they've had to go back to Pearson. Good vision by him. Hignett. Great run. Looks for more inside the penalty area, but just played it into the wrong area. Nicky Hammond cleaned up the danger nicely. 12 minutes to go. Swindon still lead 2-1. And wouldn't it be amazing if Swindon can hold on and win today? Remember, their last victory in the league was against the then leaders of the First Division, Wolves, 14 games ago. Bodin's header. Fjortoft is offside. There's a belated flag by the linesman.
They're a mile offside, Al. They were walking back. Both strikers were walking back.
There's a bit of activity down on the benches now. I wonder if we're to see a substitution soon, as Middlesbrough press forward again, looking for an equaliser. Pollock in possession for them. Morris in support, the fullback. Well, that was a mistake by Pollock, but at least he's got a throw-in out of it. And it looks like young Graham Kavanagh is coming on here for Middlesbrough, who go forward with Morris. Pollock. That's over the head almost of Robinson. He did well to reach that. Now Hignett. Slides it into Hendry, who held off the defender well. Now Morris. Pollock. He's done well, Pollock. Hignett. good ball, and Swindon get it away thanks to Ling. Pearson, back to Morris, good pressure this from Middlesbrough. Henry just couldn't reach it. Ten minutes to go. Swindon 2, Middlesbrough 1. Middlesbrough waiting to bring on Kavanagh, who's a midfield player, although he can also play up front. I imagine that's what they'll do. An Irish under-21 international. Oh, the bounce completely deceiving Vickers then. And Pearson forced to concede the free kick. This will be the moment for them to bring on the substitute here, I think, Middlesbrough. And Alan Moore is the player being replaced, which surprises me a bit because he's looked a threat throughout.
He's had some very, very good moments, Alan. I just think he's suffered more than any with Fleming going off. It means he's had to drop a lot deeper than he would have liked to.
So Kavanagh on for Moore. Less than 10 minutes for him to try and change the course of this game for Middlesbrough. Bodin chips the free kick into Haller. It's a strange one, that. Back again to Bodin. Culverhouse swings it forward. Cleared by Morris. Bodin's there again. Pearson just got it away in time. Morris. Hendry. And a very good run by Mustoe. He needs a bit of help now, does he? Porlock tracking him all the way. He's done really well there, Robbie Mustoe. Oh, that's superb. Morris. Good-looking cross as well. Hammond thought about coming for it, hesitated, and it almost cost him dearly as the substitute got into a good position on the far post.
You know, this is a great pity here, Kavanagh. He can't know what's behind him. It's a pity he gets something on this ball because look at Big White pounding up behind him.
Well, at least he got himself straight away into a goal-scoring position.
Tell you what, this could be a long last few minutes for Swindon. This is the way Middlesbrough have picked up the tempo and picked up the game.
8 minutes to go here. And apart from the outcome of the match itself, don't forget, Ron, that we will be expecting to hear in a couple of minutes your verdict for man of the match. So ponder that, if you will. Bodin, the bounce deceiving him. But Horlock onto the loose ball. Robinson hits it long, Much and Fjortoft again. We're offside. Steve McMahon knows only too well how much Swindon need to keep their foot on the pedal here to gain what would be a very, very important 3 points for them. Might just spark off the revival they've been looking for. Bodin's clearance has gone straight to Kavanagh. Play forward from Mustoe, and he's done well again here, Mustoe. Coming on strong the longer the game goes on. Nyholt. Much. That's good skill by Much. Oh, he just had it nicked off him by Pollock, who was racing back. And at the moment, it's Swindon holding on to their lead. Beecham couldn't find Fjortoft. Miller's kick is headed away by Taylor, who hasn't missed much in the air today. Much, pardon the pun, couldn't profit from it, and here goes Hendry. It's a good ball, Kavanagh onto it, slides it forward, intending to release White, but the referee had spotted an offside in there. Strange, it's been one of those matches, I think, where there hasn't been a particularly outstanding individual on the field. There's just been some very good performances all round.
I think you'll get me out of prison there, because I'm looking around trying to spot. Yeah, you're right. There's been some very, very good, solid performances. I suppose in terms of the fellow that's, or the two players that have offered most in terms of something spectacular, have been the respective leading goal scorers. And it looks as if Swindon are going to win, I suppose, and he's got a goal that just about gives the deciding vote, I would guess, to Fjortoft, because he has produced some moments. But I mean, there hasn't been an outstanding performance, but there's been a lot of very good performances.
Certainly always safe to pick one of the home players if you want to get a drink after the game, Ron. Anyway, I'm not suggesting for one moment that that's what you did. And he was offside again the moment you mentioned it.
But I mean, you've got players like Nyholtz and Horlock who have done very, very well. But I suppose that mainly on excitement, Fjortoft should take it.
But at the moment, Fjortoft still doesn't know, of course, whether he's going to be on the winning side with less than 4 minutes to go. Middlesbrough are mounting a late challenge here for the equalising goal. Horlock's clearance. Turn forward again into the Swindon box, where Robinson gets it away from White. And Ling couldn't keep it in play. Robinson's clearance now, and it's another throw-in.
I notice Big Pearson's gone right into the middle of the Swindon defence now.
As Mustoe hammers it in, straight into the arms of Hammond. Now this looks interesting on the break. Beecham. Much and Fjortoft inside the Middlesbrough half. And Much was knocked off it legally by Morris. Kavanagh, the substitute, has given it away. Bodin has done the same. Nobody wants to keep the ball at the moment. Vickers. White. Ling just did enough.
It's been a good last quarter and a half for Middlesbrough, though, hasn't it?
Yes, they've given it everything for the equaliser here. And they might get it yet. Pollock. Hendry. Sorry, Kavanagh, the substitute. Morris. Suspicion that Culverhouse was denying the opening there. And just confirmation of Ron Atkinson's choice as the man of the match, Jan Arge Fjortoft. Pollock finds Pearson. It's good play by him, but they've got to get it forward, of course, here. Morris does just that. Hammond again hesitated as he thought about coming to the edge of his box. Morris. Kavanagh. Couldn't quite force it back there, Pollock. But Kavanagh's in there to win it again. Morris now. Taylor heads it clear. Bodin slides in, and it's all hands on deck for Swindon at the moment.
Yeah, the old nerves are jangling a little bit now, aren't they?
We're into the last minute of normal time. There would be only a couple of minutes, I would think, at the most, to be added for stoppage time. As White, the defender, keeps charging forward. Kavanagh, the substitute, hits it into the box. It wasn't a good enough cross. It was easily collected by Nicky Hammond. An expressionless Brian Robson ponders the fact that his team are now very close to losing something they haven't exactly been used to this season. It would be only their 6th defeat in 26 league games. They will remain, however, leaders of the First Division, even if they do go down here. They had a point lead at the start of play over Wolves. And Steve McMahon's team can move up a place in the bottom four. No tracksuit for Steve McMahon, born in the shadow of the Mersey. He won't be feeling the cold today. And that's it. We've reached 90 minutes. We're into whatever the referee decides to add here. Nihol's spectacular clearance. Morris reaches it. Pearson. The Swindon fans want to hear the final whistle. Horlock does well to win the ball back for them. Beecham would be well advised just to get it in the corner there. He couldn't get it in the corner plus himself, but he got the ball there. The referee's had a look at the watch. Are the First Division leaders about to go down to the team in the bottom four? Yes, they are. Yes, they have. Swindon celebrate their second big win of the week, and Middlesbrough have been beaten by 2 goals to 1 by a team here in the bottom four of the First Division. Fjortoft's vital touch on the first goal, and an unusual goal by Kevin Horlock because he doesn't get many of them, but it proved to be the winner, wiping out Craig Hidgnut's goal for Middlesbrough in the first half. The final score there, here at the county ground, Swindon Town 2, Middlesbrough 1. So Fjortoft goes off to win another bottle of champagne as the man of the match, and the Swindon fans have certainly had a good week, haven't they? Their team through to the last 4 in the Coca-Cola Cup, and now they've beaten the First Division leaders and gained their first league victory in 15 matches. And overall, Ron, I think, although there were long periods, of course, where Middlesbrough played well, Swindon probably deserved it.
I think they did. It all, for me, hinged on that sending off. I think Swindon would have come out with, Middlesbrough would have come out with something if they'd have had a full complement. But all credit to Swindon. They've played very, very well.
Well, your man of the match, Jan Fjortoft, is down there now with Phil Meppel.
Jan, that league win has been a long time coming, isn't it?
14 games or 15 games, I'm not sure, but this was a very good win for us.
What about the goal? Another one for you, 23 now for the season?
Oh, yeah, it was a great header from Robinson. I don't know if the ball would have gone in anyway, but, I mean, it's my job to go for every ball in the area. And to be fair, I was worried I couldn't play today. I've been sick since Friday, and so it was a great win for me as well.
So the performance, bearing in mind that, must have been particularly pleasing for you.
I get a food poison from a hamburger chain. I won't name any names, but I've been sick for a couple of days. But seeing that, it was a team performance. We battled great, and I mean they had a good spell in the first half. But after that cup win at Wednesday has given us the boost we needed, I think, and we can just get better from here.
Now, what about the rest of the season? I mean, Wembley on the horizon. It can't be far from the back of your mind, can it?
No, it isn't, but then again we have to get away from the relegation zone. I mean, we dropped out of it now, but there is obviously more games to come in the league before we play Bolton twice, and that's just a bonus for the players and for the supporters, but it's 2 games away.
One disappointment, you got a booking.
Yeah, I mean, they're so quick to give bookings on those offences. We saw some games where they have the worst tackles in the world and don't ever get booked. But, OK, that's the way it is.
And the league position, it pulls you away from the bottom, doesn't it?
Yeah, it took us away from this time, but I think the confidence it gives us to beat the league leader. And seeing that in the perspective, we beat Millwall in the quarter-final as well, this must be enough for our confidence.
Well, there you go.
Thanks a
lot.
lot.
Ensley Owl for the man of the match. Congratulations, another goal, 23 for the season. Things beginning to go well for you.
Yeah, it's going well. I have loads of confidence, and it's fun. It's fun scoring goals, but it's more funny to win games than we did now after 15 games without a win.
Jan, well played. Many congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Perhaps you should have more tummy upsets. Mark Lawrenson, your verdict on that game?
Well, I think Swindon deserved it, Bob. I think as Ron Atkinson rightly said, the game did hinge on the sending off. Middlesbrough obviously down to 10 men, but I thought Swindon thoroughly deserved the win, although the last 10 minutes we were sweating a bit here in the studio, weren't we? I think they ran out of legs as much as anything. They ran out of steam from all the effort they'd put in the other night, but they fully deserved the victory, and as Fjortoft says it's done the confidence a power of good.
We'll have more from you later, Mark. Well, we'll have more detailed look at some of the main talking points from that match in just a couple of minutes. Also, the highlights of this afternoon's other First Division match, that's Port Vale against Tranmere. We'll also have a comprehensive wrap-up of Bristol Rovers, and they were playing Oxford, and the rest of the Second Division programme.
Now from £791, the Australian Tourist Commission and Qantas give you Australia. Get the free Traveller's Guide. Call 0345 02 2000. Let yourself go.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa. Pussycat, pussycat, I love you. You and your pussycat lips. You and your pussycat eyes. You and your pussycat nose.
Trouble with this town is everyone wants to be in the movies. It's pathetic.
Say, you want to be in the movies?
Me?
You've got just what I need.
I love you, and I love you. All right, now it's time for the close-ups. Bring in the real actresses.
Ah, give them the 106. I'd rather die.
No!
Bienvenue to the club hot, deep in the throbbing heart of Paris. A slick, chic haven where the dapper denizens of the city by the Seine come to unwind. For here we find the globally renowned antidote to all roughness. Heineken Export, the strong silken lager that's smoother than a cashmere codpiece. Heineken Export, as recommended by your smooth-talking bar steward.
Time is money. So how can Orange help you save it? We charge 1 second at a time for your calls with no rounding up. We include in your £25 monthly subscription 60 minutes of calls. One of 5 monthly price plans with minutes included. Call 0800 286 286 for full information about Orange mobile phones anytime. The future's bright. The future's Orange.
Welcome back. All the Second Division news and goals, including Bristol Rovers, coming up shortly. But first, let's concentrate on our live match, and that's Swindon Town's 2-1 win over Middlesbrough. A vital win for Swindon, wasn't it?
Oh, they were desperate for it, Bob. I think, as Fjortoft rightly said in his interview after the game, it's something like 14 or 15 games. And they haven't been playing that badly, just couldn't get a win. They've gone away from home and picked up the odd point here and there. But, yeah, they were desperate for the win today.
Do you think the ball started rolling, what with the cup win as well?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it can take all sorts to get the players, to get the luck on your side first off, and also to get the confidence going. And certainly Wednesday night's game got the confidence up for Swindon.
But at the start of the match, didn't look too good. Hignett scored for Middlesbrough.
Yeah, Craig Hignett scored from the free kick from Middlesbrough after a bad tackle by Kevin Horlock. You know, it just came off the wall, and as we said before, he swung his left foot in it. Hammered in the Swindon goal, obviously never saw it because he didn't even make a move. And, you know, at that moment you thought, hold on a minute, against the top of the league at home, you're going to be in all sorts of problems. Yeah, he just comes back off his own player, actually. Nice one, too, but I can't believe they worked that in the training ground, Bob.
And the keeper standing still on that?
Yeah, I think he was totally unsighted. So, but certainly when that went in, you thought there was going to be problems, because Swindon were having problems trying to cope with the way that Middlesbrough were playing also, and they got the break at the right time.
Swindon picked themselves up in the second quarter, and that man, Jan Fjotov, did it again.
Yeah, well, he's certainly claiming the goal, isn't he, from Mark Robinson's header from Beecham's cross. It's a good header, gets in front of the defender, and Fjotov claims he's got a toenail on that. I mean, if he cut them before the game, Bob, I don't think he'd have touched it, but good delivery of the cross, wasn't it? At least Robinson's got up there, and he's got a heading, which defenders must do when they go in the opposing penalty area, and he's just touched it in for Fjotov.
And Fjotov said that he had to go for it, didn't he?
He did have to go for it, and to be quite honest with you, Swindon hadn't really looked like scoring until that moment, had they? But that got them back in it, and what it does when you're not playing particularly well, it gives you self-belief, which obviously went on and win the game from there.
Ron Atkinson said it all hinged on the sending off. Let's have a look at this now, this instant, and do you think it was a sending off offence? Well,
it was, because it's a second bookable offence, that's the thing. He certainly deserved the caution in the first place. He overreacted. You can't do it, Bob, and you know, he's under the nose of the referee. He's only 15, 20 yards away. Niall wasn't really causing him a problem. Obviously quite a hot-headed young man, Curtis Fleming. If Niall's pulled out there at the end, he's doing him no malice whatsoever, and he's got his arms up, pushed him over, the referee spotted it, and he's in the bath.
So that was vital, and then suddenly all came good for Swindon, and that winning goal, just describe it for us.
Well, it came from the corner, wasn't it? It was worked very, very quickly. I think, in actual fact, this is from the shot from Fjotov, which we weren't quite sure if the keeper had touched it. The referee deemed that he had, and we weren't going to argue him, certainly with our Swindon bias, were we? And it was a well-worked corner, great delivery of the cross from Beecham, his second, and, you know, what Horlock did very well there was not only took the ball away in the net, but he gambled. He comes in with a run, he decides to gamble, and he sticks his head in the way. I think his only second goal he's ever scored for Swindon, and it's gained him 3 points today.
Well done. Well, that really has changed it, doesn't it? Look as though the bottom minnows is where Swindon toppling, of course, Middlesbrough. Well, it's time to catch up on the news. The weekend's second division programme, starting, of course, with Bristol Rovers. They were at home to Oxford United, managed by former City boss Dennis Smith, and one of Rovers' promotion rivals. Rovers, though, had gone 7 games without defeat before their midweek upset at Orient, but Oxford had slipped to